This conference will now be recorded.
ఎవరో తెలియదు. అవి ఉన్నారు, ఎక్కడ ఉన్నారో తెలియదు. నాకు సౌండ్ మాత్రం క్లాస్ మొత్తం వినపడుతున్నా. వాళ్ళు తీసివేయాలి. Last class, I think I completed immune-mediated blood reactions. Now I am continuing with non-immune-mediated reactions. Non-immune-mediated reactions like bacterial contamination, bacteria which may be introduced into the pack at the time of blood collection from sources such as donor skin, donor bacteremia, or equipment used during blood collection or processing, multiplied during the storage. Platelets are more frequently implicated than red cells. Symptoms are very high-grade fever, rigors, profound hypotension, nausea, and are sometimes diarrhea due to inflammation of the bowel. Management: immediately stop the transfusion. Where the blood collected and from blood bank where it is collected, we have to notify it. And then blood packet was taken back to the blood bank and then check for the contamination. Initially, we have to give supportive care. For very high grade fever, we will go for anti-hyperemic injections or tablets. To reduce any suspicion of anaphylactic, we will go for H1 blockers. Blood culture should be taken from the blood packet. Broad spectrum antimicrobials. Blood culture also taken from the patient. Volume overload. Patients with cardiopulmonary diseases and infants are at risk of volume overload, especially during the rapid transfusion. Patients with heart failure and infants will go for blood transfusion by per kg body weight. If we go for rapid transfusion in large amounts, which leads to the volume overload. So there is presence of respiratory distress, pulmonary edema, shortness of breath, tachycardia, These are all present. Peripheral perfusion also reduced edema present. Management causes due to overtransfusion, so that stop the transfusion. Oxygen supply and give diuretics to reduce the volume overload, increases the renal perfusion and urine output, so the pulmonary edema will reduce. Prevention, avoid unnecessary fluids. Along with blood transfusion, we will go for colloids, crystalloids to maintain the hypotension. So whenever we go for blood transfusion or blood product transfusion, we have to reduce the crystalloid transfusion, and colloids like Hemacil, Hetastarch, which are useful to maintain the body fluid levels and vitals to improve the hypotension state. Whenever we go for blood transfusion, we have to reduce the compensatory fluid transfusion so that we can reduce the volume overload. Hypothermia, cause for hypothermia is rapid infusion of large volumes of stored blood contributes to the hypothermia. Infants are particularly at risk during the exchange or massive transfusion. Blood usually stored at 5 to 8 degrees centigrade. Usual body temperature is 36, 37 degrees centigrade. Whenever temperature is less than 35, called as hypothermia. In rapid transfusion, you don't wait for the blood to get up to the room temperature. So there is a chance of hypothermia. Patient was already in hypotension and hypothermia. This additionally provokes further reduction of body temperature. Prevention and management. Blood warmer should be used during massive or exchange transfusion. Additional measures include warming of the other intravenous fluids and the use of devices to maintain patient body temperature. Body warmers also be there, and we will put hot water in the gloves and put along with the patient. Warm fluids, this reduce the hypothermia. Potassium present in the cells. Stored red cells leak potassium proportionately throughout their storage life. Usually storage for blood is 35 days. According to using chelating substances, storage materials, it was improved up to 45 to 50 days. So potassium which presents in the cells, which leaks out proportionately throughout their storage life. Irradiation of red cells increases the rate of potassium leakage. Irradiation leads to cell lysis, cell death, and potassium will come out through the cell. There is clinically significant hyperkalemia can occur during rapid and large volume transfusion. Of older red cell units in small infants and children. Usually blood transfusion is most effective in first 1 week of blood collection to improve the anemia condition and for the massive transfusion purpose also. There is few complications within 1 week blood collected within 1 week. Whenever there is storage time increases, the platelets will go on. Coagulation factors will reduce. There is much use with the transfusion which transfused to the patient after a long storage. So for any blood transfusion, less stored blood, that is within 1 week, 5 days or 10 days blood is much useful. Most of the times we can use that packets only. Iron accumulation. Iron accumulation is a predictable consequence of chronic RBC transfusion. Organ toxicity begins when reticuloendothelial sites of iron storage become saturated. Which leads to the liver and endocrine dysfunction. Most serious complication is cardiotoxicity, which causes arrhythmias and congestive heart failure. Patients receiving chronic transfusion usually have their iron status monitored and managed by their physician. Management and prevention. Iron chelation therapy is usually commenced early in the course of chronic transfusion therapy. Transfusion associated graft versus host disease. Pathophysiology, proliferation of donor lymphocytes, and initiation of graft versus host reaction. Usually after 10 to 12 days post transfusion will occur. Bone marrow, skin, liver, GAT are most commonly affected. Clinical features: erythroderma, jaundice, liver function abnormalities, diarrhea, pancytopenia. Whenever there is effect of bone marrow due to antigen antibody reaction, the production will reduce, so it leads to pancytopenia. Jaundice due to hemolysis, coagulation factor failure, liver enzyme elevation, hepatocyte damage, diarrhea due to gut mucosal injury, inflammation of the gut mucosa, inflammation in the skin, accumulation of the byproducts of antigen antibody reaction, leads to erythroderma. This transfusion associated graft versus host reaction is prevented by gamma irradiation of cellular blood products, whole blood, red blood cells, platelets, granulocytes. For high risk patients, for this reaction, at risk groups are recipients of blood from biologically related or HLA matched donors, intrauterine, and all subsequent transfusions and exchange transfusion recipients. Congenital cellular immunodeficiency, granulocyte transfusions, Hodgkin's disease, allogenic and autologous peripheral blood stem cell, and bone marrow transplant patients, Aplastic anemia receiving immunosuppressions. Immunosuppressants like purine analogs. Mercaptopurine, example. Summary of blood reactions. Mild reactions. Signs like urticaria, rash. Symptoms like pruritus. Possible causes allergic. Immediate management. Stop transfusion. Assess the patient like vital status, how much BP, pulse rate, respiratory rate, any shortness of breath is there, any tachypnea is there, hypotension is there. Antihistamines like Evil, Cetirizine, these are H1 blockers. To reduce the release of inflammatory mediators so that the urticaria, pruritus will reduce. If the inflammatory mediators are not reduced, patient still complaining, itching, SOB, there is chest heaviness, we'll go for steroids. Patient was stable, we'll check for and wait for 15 minutes or half an hour. And then we will again start the transfusion. If the symptoms still appear, we'll stop the transfusion and discard the blood packet. We'll go for recheck the blood packet for cross matching. At the same time, for any contamination, we'll take back to the blood bank. We will check it again. Category 2, moderately severe. Signs like flushing, urticaria, rigors, fever, restlessness, tachycardia. Symptoms: anxiety, pruritus, palpitations, dyspnea, headache. Possible cause: allergic, Antibodies to white cells or platelets. Antibodies to the proteins including IgA. Contamination with pyrogens or bacteria. Management, immediate management is most important. Either way, we stop the transfusion first and maintain the IV line, give antihistamines and antipyretics, paracetamol. Go for investigations like renal functions, liver functions, blood urea, serum creatinine to know liver functions, bilirubin, direct, indirect bilirubin, liver enzymes like SGOT, SGPT, Sorry for inconvenience. There is some connection failure. Okay, I am continuing. Moderately severe